Pennsylvania's Matt "Semi the Jedi" Semelsberger made his UFC debut last August when he defeated Carlton Minus. Now he's taken a step up in competition as he's taken on Jason the Vanilla Gorilla Witt on March 13th at UFC Fight Night. He's trying to make it 5 wins in a row, and he's here to talk about it. Tune in as Matt Semelsberger joins us at mymmanews.com. 2021 planning to be a big year for you. Now that you're a UFC fighter, it's got it settled in. You got your first win. How does it feel now that it's settled in with you? You got your first win, that you're a UFC fighter.
Yeah, man, it's definitely settled a little bit more. Like, I think when I was talking to you last time, I was, it almost seemed like it wasn't real until I actually got in there and got the fight done. So It's cool, man. I'm just super, a lot of gratitude. I'm just thankful that, I'm in the position that I'm in. So just taking it day by day, training hard and focusing on the work, man. That's been a big thing for me. As soon as the fight was done, I had like a little cut after my debut, but that healed up pretty quickly. And I was back in the gym the next week, grinding at it. And I haven't really stopped being super consistent. I've been in the gym ever since.
Which makes me curious, now that you got that win in the UFC, obviously you're at the next tier and the big show. Has anything in training up the ante a little bit or changed or anything? What's Crazy Eight's looking like for you and all your other training systems that you have going?
Oh, yeah, I've taken a step up, man. So I got back on a full strength and conditioning program, much like I was in college. So, like, before I made my UFC debut and even, like, all my pro fights before that, I was on no sort of strength and conditioning program, like a professional one, that is. I always kind of did it on my own and just kind of did my own thing. But now I'm working with a bunch of professionals over at Axis Sport Performance. And actually, my strength and conditioning coach is a MMA fighter, and he trains at Crazy 88. His name's Lewis Bruton. Shout out to Lewis. He's from the UK. Him and his wife, he came over because he married his wife, who's from America. So I've been grinding really hard, 2-3 times a week there, and then just hitting 2 days, most of the days out of the week, one morning session, evening session. So I try to remember this quote I saw the other day. It was like, you can't expect like better results with last season's effort or something like that. Like I'm chopping that up a bunch, but basically the whole point of it was you can't expect to climb levels if you're doing the same stuff you were doing. So I've taken the step up, man. I've taken that to heart, and obviously my coaches and everybody have been, keeping that in my ear that I got to keep working and stay consistent. And if you want to keep climbing and you want to stick around, you gotta put in the work, and you gotta keep up in that ante. So I've been doing that.
So Lewis has been keeping you busy. I was curious to see when can we expect to see your boy Josh Jackson back? Matt Hicks, when's he going to make his pro debut? You got so many teammates behind you that are just, oh my gosh, they're studs that some people might not get to know just yet, but they darn sure will sooner than later. Any news with them? And obviously my man Sebastian over there that's running the show.
Yeah, man. So we're kind of everybody, like I said, JJ, Hicks, everybody in the room's been consistent, like even through the pandemic and stuff like that. Like when we were in full lockdown, we were freaking going over to Sebastian's garage and beating the shit out of like pads and fucking sparring each other in this like 10 by 10 garage, man. It's actually a pretty cool setup. He's got like a bunch of bags and stuff like that, but we've been busy, man. And as far as like fights and stuff, we're really just kind of waiting for things to open up and get some more opportunities. I think Sebastian was telling me the other day, there's some stuff down at like in Tennessee or something like that he's thinking about maybe driving down to do. There was a CFP card, but it's the same fight as same weekend as my fight against Jason. So that's kind of like I'm kind of taking all the coaches with me. So I kind of feel bad because I wish they could fight that weekend. But yeah, man, they're working really hard in the gym. Obviously, they're helping me. But I think you kind of put it perfectly, man. Not a lot of people know about them right now, but trust me, you will. Very, very soon, once we get all this stuff open back up and once I start getting some fights, those dudes are absolute beasts and they work super, super hard. So a lot of good things to come out of them.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. So getting on to your fight with Jason Witt, like I said, I had the luxury of to speak with him before I had to talk with you. He had some choice words, but what do you know about Jason Witt? He has 3 times as many fights as you, so the experience plays in his favor. But at this point in the UFC, experience doesn't seem to play a factor because everybody's at the top tier of at this point. So what's your thoughts on Jason Witt?
So obviously he's a vet. He's well experienced, 18-6, got plenty of professional fights. So that in terms of like the fight IQ, he's got a lot of ring time. So he's a veteran. He knows what he's doing, and he seems like he likes to lean towards the grappling, the wrestling, and getting people down on the ground, and that's kind of seems like his A game. But I'm not knocking his striking or anything like that. I know that he does have a kickboxing background. I think his uncle or something like that was a kickboxing guy and trained him from a pretty young age. So, but just from looking at his fights, it seems that he likes to use his striking to set up his entry into the ground. And he does most of his good work on the ground from what I've seen. So strong grappler. He looks like a really strong guy. He's like a big, stocky, strong dude. So that's what I've seen from him so far. I'm still studying him and watching him fight. Not just his UFC fights, Bellator. I'm doing my homework on him, man. So what I did, like taking it back to like the college football days, man, I was a film study master. I would get in there and just study the crap out of the team we were playing. And it got benefit, man. When I would get out on the field, I could see stuff happen before it would actually, play out, because I was like, oh, I see this formation. And I remember when in the film I was watching, all right, yeah, this dude's motioning over. Even just like how the quarterback is his body language and how he's, coming up to the snap and stuff like that. Like I pay attention to all of that stuff, man. So that's something I pride myself in, is being very studious in that regard. So tough dude, and I'm excited for it, man. It's gonna be cool.
I find that interesting that you talk so critically on film study, because a lot of people leave that to the coaches, and you're saying that you're very, very into it as far as yourself goes. And a lot of people, I don't think they understand the intricacies of people that fall into certain habits. And if you fall into those certain habits, there's certain people, again, like yourself and other people, coaches especially, they can pick up on that and definitely exploit that. So the fact that you pick up on that yourself and don't just leave that to the coaches, do you think that sets you apart from potentially other fighters?
Possibly, man. I can't speak for. I know there are a lot of other fighters who do a lot of film studying on their opponents, or just in general watching fights and breaking stuff down. But yeah, man, I think it's super, super beneficial, and it's just smart, man. When you think about it, it's a very scientific approach to whatever it is you're doing, man. So
yeah, some people leave it to the coaches, some people do it themselves. So it comes to speak for itself when it's come the time to set in the cage. So what do you think you set yourself apart from Jason Witt? Because next to follow, I'll talk about me and Jason Witt's conversation. Where do you think you best him in this fight?
Striking, stand up. I think my striking is more dynamic. I think me as an athlete, my athleticism and my explosion and my speed and everything, man, I think that's going to play a big part. And I'm not just knocking like, oh, I'm athletic, I can, I can move really well, this and that. It's like, no, I've been working super, super, super hard everywhere, all around. But, I've talked to you before. I like to strike, man. That's like my prime. I will stand and bang a whole fight.
In the pocket too. In the clinch, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I like to strike, man, but don't get it twisted. Like I've been wrestling since I was like freaking 7, 8 years old, man. So I have a deep grappling background. I started doing jiu-jitsu when I was a freshman in high school. So I can always fall back to the grappling if I need to, but I'm not planning on doing that with a strong grappler like Jason. So.
And you, if my memory serves correct, you got into wrestling initially to help your football career.
Yep.
Interesting. I find that so interesting, man. So, but that's just a fun little note. So again, talking to Witt, he said going into the fight, he was very confident in saying, quote, "I know I'll be able to hold him down and keep grinding him out." And when I asked for his prediction, boldly just says 3 words, TKO round 2. Your thoughts?
Okay. Hey, man, I respect his confidence. And like I said, I told you in the beginning of the interview, man, he's solid on the ground. He can control people. He's very good at that. And I've noticed that in film study and everything I've been studying on him. So If you're gonna win this fight, Jason, it's exactly how you explained it. You better be able to hold me down and beat the shit out of me and fucking make me do something stupid. Because trust me, that's exactly the only way I saw myself losing this fight, or see myself losing this fight. So I would agree with him. If he does win this fight, that's probably how he's going to do it. But I don't think he's going to. To be plain and honest, I've been working super, super hard. I got a lot of good people around me, a lot of good coaches. I got Coach John Del Bruges with me.
Del Bruges?
Yeah, that dude can hold down anyone. So I don't think I don't think Jason Witt has the same control that John Del Bruges does.
Yeah, man, this is definitely set to be a fun one. But to go against what he says and you agreeing with what he says, if he's able to utilize his game, how do you make sure he doesn't utilize his game?
Just keep it off the ground, keep it on the feet. I'm not going to get into super specifics since I don't want to give anything away, but keep it on the feet, man. But like I said, man, I'm not afraid to go to the ground, and I'm prepared, fully prepared to go to the ground in this fight. So I'm training super, super hard to be prepared. If he does get me down and he does try to smash me, I'm ready for it, man. I've been suffering myself in training. I've been grinding super hard, specifically for if I have that happen in the fight, those moments, I'm ready to take that on. So
your answer, he says TKO rounds 2. What's your prediction?
I have a prediction written down in my little journal that I got. But I'm not going to say it. And I'll put it this way. After this fight, I will interview with you again and I will show you that prediction. And I have the data written down, but it's just one of those things, man. Like, I can give my prediction to people and tell them this, tell them that, but I'd rather just keep it to myself, man. And I know what I believe is going to happen, but that's for me to keep to myself and for me to believe. And then, afterwards, when it comes to fruition, then I can be like, hey guys, like, I got proof.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to see that piece of paper. I can't wait to see how this fight plays out, and we'll close it down there, man. Matt Semelsberger, how do the fans keep up with you on social media? Obviously, your stock is rising as a UFC fighter. The fans are going to be clamoring. Tell them how to keep up with you, my man.
Yeah, so my handle's pretty much the same on everything. Twitter and Instagram, it's Semi the Jedi. And then Facebook, I have like an athlete page on Facebook. It's just Matthew Semelsberger. But I Facebook's more kind of like friends and family. I don't really do too much in terms of like my professional fighting stuff, but like Instagram and Twitter, Semi the Jedi, can go follow me on there. I'm eventually trying to get like a YouTube channel or something going, man, like a gaming channel, or I like to do like a bunch of different stuff, man. Go hiking, go outdoors and stuff like that. So eventually I want to get one of those up, but I'll have to do that after the fight.
Yeah, well, you saying that makes me think one of my favorite things to do, and one of the only things I do every single weekend consistently, is go hiking. So I would love to talk fighting on a hike with Matt Semelsberger in the future. That would be something fun to plan, man. So obviously you have bigger things to fry on your plate right now, so we'll shoot for that down the road, man. I appreciate you taking the time, and best of luck in the fight against Jason Witt a couple months down the road.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right, there he goes. Matt Semelsberger is taking on Jason Witt on March 13th at UFC Fight Night. It's stacked. It's a stacked card. It's going to be an amazing card, and Matt Semelsberger and Jason Witt is just going to make it that much better. For Matt Semelsberger, I'm Adam Christ. Make sure you keep it locked to mymmanews.com for all your fight news needs.